Hello. We're here at Creekside Cabin, which is Missy's. Here, you want to tell us about Creekside Cabin a little bit?
Sure. We built this in 2018. And ever since then, I've been saying I was going to list it as an Airbnb or VRBO, but I've never done it. But we rent it quite a bit anyway.
I was going to say, because I feel like it's like our creek's like, it's like an underground Airbnb for
there we go.
Creek is what it is.
Right.
It seems like.
Right. We actually used it right after the hurricane for people to come and take showers because we were one of the first people with power back.
That's awesome.
So I opened it up for the community to come and take hot showers.
That's awesome. That's cool. Okay. And we're talking today with Oden. Oden's been doing a ton. Honestly, everybody here has been doing a ton in the community since the very, very beginning. So Oden, you want to tell us a little bit about like what was those early days? What did that look like for you?
Like with the toy drive?
No,
Just like from the very
general
beginning, like what happened on September 27th? Like what did y'all's experience look like with the storm?
We had decent flooding at the creek. We had a bunch of like big trees coming under it.
We were sure stressing it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were. I mean, those
And it was that close
Yep.
to jump in the bank right here outside the cabin.
Is this Creekside Cabin? So
Yeah.
the creek is right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We were without power for just a few days, I think. And then we had a bunch of donations. We were giving out free food.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was cooking some and then giving it out. And then we started doing the toy drive. We were collecting a bunch of toys and giving it out to kids as flood relief for them. And then here around Christmas time, we turned it into more like a Christmas present type thing. So we're finally out of them. We filled 2 humongous totes up multiple times.
I saw them on
Yeah.
Facebook. I think you posted. I can't believe you filled them up more than once.
Yeah.
About 3
They're
times a
huge.
piece.
That's so cool.
We gave away truckloads and truckloads and truckloads of toys. Thousands of toys.
Yeah, because you were the first one that I saw posting about toys. That wasn't something that really was one of our first instincts.
Right. I guess
Yeah.
because Oden's a kid.
Yeah.
We set up the third day after the hurricane, we went to Hampton
Mhm.
and to feed people.
Mhm.
And I think we fed around 600 people that first day. And a lot of the people that were coming through had kids with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I guess, because Oden is a kid, that was something he thought of. That was, you know.
That's awesome.
So he made a little video asking people to send donations
Mhm.
of toys, and we set up a Amazon wish list, and they started pouring in.
Cool. So did you post that just like on Facebook or
Facebook, YouTube, everything.
TikTok,
TikTok,
everywhere.
everywhere? That's awesome. Yeah, because that's what, and I loved you put like fundraiser.
Yeah.
So
Oden's fundraiser. He
I
came
like
up
that.
with that.
that was clever. I really liked it. But yeah, that was like early on. So you say
Yeah,
day 3?
that was, we were feeding people for about the first 2 weeks after the hurricane. So I would say towards the end of that first 2 weeks, he set up the toy drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then we started getting a bunch of donations for the food drive that I usually do, which we were planning on doing the toy drive instead of it this year. But because we had so much stuff, we didn't have an option not to.
Yeah.
We had like 300 pounds of chickens donated to us from a church in Alabama. The communities donated a bunch of hams and stuff. The Carter Christian Church up the road gave a bunch of pre-made meals, and then my church, Watauga Valley Free Will Baptist, is getting signs, and then my youth is going to be putting it all together and giving it out.
That's cool.
And we have it on good authority that Santa on the trail will be there.
Santa
As
on
well
the
as
trail.
Grinch.
Ooh. The Grinch on the trail. That's awesome. And when you say, so have you done this food drive before? This is
the 5th year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so do people come through, like, is it like a drive-through situation?
Kinda.
It will be,
Yeah.
but tomorrow we're going to have, because Santa will be there giving out
Mhm.
candy canes, it'll be a little slower. And also, if people just want to bring their kid and don't need a meal bag.
Yeah,
You
just
know.
want to see Santa.
Right.
Cool. That's awesome.
Or if they want to pick one up for somebody else. I mean, everybody knows somebody that could use something right now in our area.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the funny thing about this is, at least in my experience, I'd love to hear all of y'all's experience with it, but it seems like it's mostly people saying, hey, I think somebody else could use this versus people coming for themselves.
Yes.
And I think that's been a blessing because I think everybody's made do with what they have. And it seemed like in the past month or so has been when it's really been people having to ask for help. And I think that's been kind of.
Well, in the beginning, help was everywhere.
Yes.
And now most of the distribution stops are gone
Mhm.
from our county. There's a few still going, but a lot of the help left. And
Mhm.
we knew they would because and we appreciate them coming,
Right.
obviously, but they can't stay forever.
Right. So do you have plans for after Christmas? Are you going to keep doing stuff or are you taking a little break? Because I know you've been.
We'll probably get back to doing my videos, but we probably won't be doing a bunch of the charity type stuff for a while.
For a little bit, you're going to take a little break. Which is good.
Well,
unless Nan has any other ideas.
Nan always has.
We're going to start cooking because we're going to start with hot meals again as soon as we get through the food drive. Actually, I've made some contacts in Spruce Pine.
Oh, wow.
And also up near Swannanoa that are asking for hot meals.
Yeah.
So we're going to get back into some of that.
Because you were doing that, because
We did.
I saw you day 3. I think I brought you biscuits day 3 for Roe Mountain when you were going up to Roe Mountain.
Yeah, we fed people for, I want to say the first 16 or 17 days every day.
Wow.
And then we slowed down to deliveries and carrying, unloading, loading, everything. And
yeah, it was hard.
then we switched straight into the toy drive.
Yeah.
So that was all going at the same time. And we were literally taking the toys where the people were and to them.
Mhm.
So we were Mountain City, Elk Park, Roan Mountain, Butler, Telford, Newport. We were everywhere.
On the trail. Y'all were
On the trail.
On the trail.
On the trail.
On the trail of recovery.
Yes. And
There you go. Nice.
Good. That's a good brain. Okay, so what has school been like? Yeah, you want to speak on that?
Okay, sure. I remember one of my teachers needed help with something, and I told them about it in food drive. And then they told her friends who needed help, and they actually, I don't know, I forgot to tell you this, but they actually came here and got stuff from you, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Because
cool.
I helped them out. I forgot to tell you that, by the way.
That's cool.
People were a little more willing to ask for help for themselves.
Yeah.
For the toy drive. Well, for their kids. People will ask
See,
for help for their kids.
That's what, so I was helping a group. I'm going to get it mixed up because I've got so many names in my brain. Appalachian United, maybe? Anyways, I was helping them get Christmas lists together. And I did a couple of them and I realized I wasn't going to be able to, because we were making Amazon wish lists for families that had filled out a Google form. And I did maybe 2 or 3, and I realized I wasn't going to be able to get it all done, especially by Christmas.
Right.
So I had posted about it, and I'd asked my sister if she could. Well, my sister said, "Hey, can I help you?" And so she got in there, and as we were going through those lists, we noticed the moms never asked for a single think. There was
Never.
probably 200 lists that we made, and I don't think I saw one where the mom would ask for anything.
Yeah.
Hardly. It was all trying to make sure their babies had Christmas
Yep.
or that they had.
We made gift bags for the moms and sent them out with every mom that showed up to get presents for the kids left with something for themselves.
That's cool.
And I told them to wrap it up and put it under the tree so they could open a present with their babies on Christmas morning. Because the little ones pay attention to that.
They do.
They do.
They do. I love that. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about, like, how are you finding who needs the toys? How are you?
I think Name's been doing most of it, like asking people on like Facebook, putting posts like, if anybody needs toys, let us know, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people would send us addresses.
Yeah.
Where people were who had lost everything. A lot of them were in hotels in the beginning.
Right.
So we delivered to hotels, Elizabethton, and up in Johnson County.
Mm-hmm.
And then we delivered through the distribution sites because we were there serving food. So we took toys with us. And as any families came through with kids, we gave them toys.
Yeah.
And then we went where we knew there was a lot of damage. We just went with truckloads of toys and they were there.
Oh, cool.
They were just there.
Just kind of fall in the river.
Basically all you had to do.
Yeah.
Especially on like the third week because everybody was in cleanup mode. So they were there present, you know, trying to clear roads and tear out houses and just everything.
Well, I also think it's interesting for anybody who's not in our area. Some of these homes that, correct me if I'm wrong, that didn't get washed away, they have now, several of them have become condemned because of the mold. It's not like just because the river came through and washed houses out.
It depends on how close they were to the river. Some of them were moved off their foundation, and even though they look intact, they're no longer structurally sound, even if it shifted it 6 inches or so. And a lot of them are now have mold damage.
Yeah.
They're being gutted to the studs. I've actually switched up and been doing some painting in some homes they're putting back together.
Yeah.
We actually finished one yesterday.
Oh, good.
And got him back in there in time for Christmas.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's an interesting story. He lives across the street from the doe.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when the water started across the road, when it come across the road, he started putting his guitars, which he has a guitar collection, into the attic. And just as it come through the front door, him and his little dog went into the attic. And they rode it out for 6 hours in their attic. And it all but tore his home down around him.
Wow.
The only reason they let him rebuild was it didn't move on the foundation and his roof was intact. But that was pretty much it. It was gutted to the studs.
Wow. That had to have been a scary 6 hours.
I spoke with another guy who, he's in Valley Forge.
Mm-hmm.
He said when the water came across the road, he put a ladder on his heat pump so that he could get onto his roof. And just as he lifted his Labrador Retriever onto the roof.
Oh, my word.
He said he almost never got him up there, 80-pound dog.
Yeah.
And then he's so tired he could barely get himself up there. So just as he grabbed hold to swing his body up there, the river took the heat pump and ladder from under him. And he was able to get up there, and they rode this whole storm out on the roof, praying that the house didn't. He watched bridges come by, neighbors' homes come by. Pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, that's wild. That's so wild.
When you actually hear them tell those stories, it's chilling.
Yeah. Well, so I started this YouTube channel in hopes that people who wanted to share would come and share. And I've actually had several people who have wanted to share but don't want it posted. And that's totally fine. Totally fine by me, because I think that these stories right now especially are just so sensitive that people don't want to have it out yet. And I think that people outside of our area don't really understand how bad it was because there's not very many people wanting to share right now, which I can completely respect and understand. I think it's
people are just now beginning to even open up about it.
Well, and even breathe. I even know, like, I'm sure y'all probably feel the same way. It just felt like nonstop for 3 months. And even as people,
I think might have taken 4 days in that whole time.
Yeah, and I know for myself, it's really hard to even relax when you do take those days.
Yeah, because you're worried. My phone goes off.
I'm sure yours is crazy because for anybody who doesn't know, Missy is like, I feel like you're like the Nana of the creek. Like everybody's checking in with you and knows that you know everybody and can kind of connect people. So I'm sure your phone's been...
For the first month, every morning when I got up, I would have 99 plus messages on my phone. And I was just flabbergasted.
Well, she checked her phone before she came out here and she already has 45 new messages.
Yeah.
So it's still coming, literally.
Yeah. And is that mostly people like here close, or has it kind of like expanded to like more?
It's the whole county. And even up into North Carolina, some at this point, because I've been going there and now made contacts and friends up there.
That's what I was wondering, because I just seen what you've been doing, and I was curious if it's kind of grown outside of our area.
And my sister-in-law is actually from North Carolina, so she knows a lot of people up there. So we've just been, there's no difference between Avery County and Roan Mountain. It's just a line in the road.
I know, that's why when they put a barrier in the earlier days between the North Carolina and the Tennessee border, and everybody was mad.
Yes, because our cousins and neighbors and friends and relatives live on the other side of that line.
There's not really a line.
No.
Yeah.
We're all the same people.
Yeah. Yeah. That was something me and my friend.
But of course now a lot of the help is coming from here.
Yeah.
So they definitely need it and they appreciate it so much.
Yeah. How has that been like up in North Carolina recently?
The need continues in North Carolina.
Yeah. And I think something that is kind of hard with this is that it's almost like now that we're all kind of catching our breath, we can see the need a little bit differently than in those early days where it was like food, water, shelter.
It's changed along the way.
Yeah. What have you seen as far as like changes?
Well, immediately it was, like you said, food, water, shelter. And everybody just was so shocked. Everyone looked like they just walked back from war. Honestly, in that first 2 weeks, it was shocking to be there. And just seeing everything so tore up.
Yeah.
The rivers and the bridges and the debris everywhere. And homes gone where they've been my whole life. And trying to find new ways to get everywhere. That's been hard.
Yeah.
We tried to get help to Irwin.
Yeah.
And then you get down there and you couldn't get anywhere in the first 3 weeks in Irwin.
Yeah.
But you could get there from here, as they say. You had to go somewhere else and start. Yeah. So we spent a whole day trying to get to Bumpus Cove to take necessities down in there. That's still real bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah.
So some areas are actually starting to reel it back in and look somewhat normal, except for the rivers, which I don't know will ever look normal in my lifetime again. It's a new normal now, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm worried about that. If they don't do something with the debris piles in the river, then when we get another big heavy rain, and we will.
Well, yeah. It's just normal.
It's a matter of time.
I've been trying to
explain. Now, this flooding that we had, that's not normal.
But rain in the mountains is normal.
It's normal.
And I've been trying to explain that to people who maybe don't understand the mountains. It's like it rains almost every single day in the summertime. Like it's not like rain is abnormal. It's just the amount of rain that we got with the structures and the things that we have that was so wild.
Well, but tiny little branches that you could jump across came up and wiped out homes. Like it's hard to even even though I've been here looking at it every day for almost 3 months, it's still hard to comprehend almost. And every new thing is like you just have to pause and comprehend what you're looking at.
And I know, like, for me and Oden, I'd be curious because so with Oden on the Trail, is that like your YouTube channel? Are you posting normally when you're going out hiking? Is that what that is? Yeah, that's what I thought from the things that I've seen. And how are you thinking about going back out on the trails? Because I know that
I would love to, but I also need somebody to drive me there because I can't drive.
Oh, so that's known there.
But
Well,
I'm wondering if they're
I
gonna be
will
different.
say the trails are toward pieces,
Yes.
and they're out there working all the time.
Yeah.
But they're really not.
It's even a bigger reason for me to go there. To show all
Yeah, that's what I was about to
We
say.
really do. That is something we're planning, is to get up there so he can show
Yeah,
the
that
work
would be
that's
good.
going on the
Yeah.
trail.
Teach them how to fish again.
Yeah. And our lakes and rivers look weird.
I haven't
and
been
it's
up to Watauga
unnerving.
yet. I'm like putting that off. I'm a little
We have a
nervous.
boat up there, and I've been on it one time, and it's just, it looks so different. The water itself looks so different. It's unnerving even to be there. Owen and I went up to Little Wilbur, which is
poop
usually so clear that
Yeah,
you can see
really.
through it.
And now it's poop brown.
It's hard to look at. You know, my whole life you could look all the way to the bottom and watch fish swim, and now it looks like chocolate milk.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
a
it
nicer
better.
way to say it.
Yeah, and
You know.
Dealing with a teenage boy, you're liable to get anything.
It is what it is.
It is on our list to get him into the mountains to do some.
That would be interesting.
We were doing a lot of things up on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yeah.
And they're just now starting to open up little sections of it.
Yeah.
But you can't drive the whole thing. You have to get back off and then get back on somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm curious to see, as you know, as the weather eventually gets warmer, what that looks like and what's changed and what's not changed. I'm a little nervous to go to some of our favorite spots.
Right,
and
me too.
See what they look like. And
all of our places that we hike and go to, drive and enjoy are in the mountains and up into North Carolina, and they all suffered. They've all suffered damage, literally. And if the one particular place isn't damaged, what gets you there is.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I think is hard too, is like even just driving certain places, you don't know if the road closed because it needs to be closed. You know what I mean? Like trusting those road closed signs.
Right.
Like, are they, you know, is it just the local traffic needs to be there, or is it actually closed? Like that kind of thing, navigating how bad it is.
Oh, in the beginning when we were making deliveries up into the haulers and stuff,
There were trucks
we
of the
drove
road
on
missing.
roads that we shouldn't have even been on.
I know.
That it looked like was going to collapse out from under you, where there was barely enough room to get your vehicle through. It was pretty scary.
Yeah.
But we went everywhere.
Yeah,
We
that's
went
what I
everywhere.
was curious. We were up in Avery County pretty soon after, and several of those roads I would just hold my breath, like, oh, it's okay. And it's pretty wild that, like, even these big trucks that are having to go in there, I just every time I'm like,
scares you to
yeah,
death.
it does. It does. I don't know.
The first time we went down Elk River Road, it looked like it had been bombed.
Yeah. Have you been up there recent?
I haven't been up there. Well, let's see. About a month after the hurricane, we were delivering toys and necessities up there. But we went all the way out to where the bridge is gone.
Yeah.
And that was one of our places because Oden loves the falls up there.
Yeah.
Can't even get there. Well, you can, but you have to come in from Rome Mountain and hike to them from a different direction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be wild as things, I don't know, as people start coming to see things too. I'm curious how that's going to look.
Right.
And
If you're local, you could probably find your way around and figure it out. But people that don't know all these back mountain roads.
Well,
and-
I'm a little conflicted because it's like, I think it's for like local economy reasons. Some people are saying like come, but like for safety reasons, even for the people that are coming, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
well, in the beginning, I felt like don't come
Mhm.
because we were just taking care of.
Well, we needed to
The
breathe for a
immediate-
second. Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now I'm saying we need them to come
yeah,
because it's reaching out. Now it's people who weren't affected by the hurricane
Mhm.
are feeling it because
yeah,
they're not making any money. There's no one coming into the restaurants and leaving tips for the waitresses, and there's it's hurting. It's reaching out now to the
Yeah.
whole area.
yeah. Well, and like even there's been several bigger companies that have had big layoffs. I've heard. I don't know if you've
Yes.
heard much. I think Johnson County, one of their
Shut
Major.
one of their main employers shut down.
yeah. And so trying to get a job here right now with
Yes.
that is gotta be. That's why, like for me personally, when I see people asking for help, I do my very best to not make my own judgments about it because you don't know.
I'll tell you this too, having helped with Oden's Food Drive for 5 years, there's never been a time here that there wasn't a need, and that was
Yeah.
prior to the hurricane.
Yeah.
And it's even more now. It's just our economy is and inflation has been so bad and everything is so expensive that people were already hurting.
Yeah.
And I will say this as far as the people that are beginning to come back that lost things. If you were in pretty good shape and lost your home or had to rebuild, you're probably getting there by now. But if you were hurting already, you're really hurting now.
Mhm.
I mean, those people are not bouncing back. If you lost the only vehicle you had and can't afford to replace it, you can't get to work.
Yeah.
And I had a lady contact me the other day. She's like, do you know where I can get some gas money? Because I've lost my job because she worked in Irwin. And they lost so many jobs at one time right there.
Yeah.
And she says, I have to get my kid to school. And what used to be a 15-minute drive is now an hour and a half. Because she has to go all the way.
That's what I was.
Around.
I was talking to someone in Irwin as well, and she was just like, we don't have, like, it's taking forever to get places, and the gas money specifically is a need that I've heard over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's a hard one because I know it's really hard for people, A, to ask for money, and then B, to send money.
Yeah.
Because people feel hesitant.
People
They'd
would rather send
Yeah.
items people have been very generous.
100%.
Need a hot
Yes.
tent, they'll get you one.
Mhm.
You need a generator, there you go.
Yes.
But need $50, sorry,
Yeah.
and I get it.
That's what's hard.
Well, I had a lady tell me recently, and I've just been trying to go with it, that in any disaster, 90% of the people really need it, appreciate your help, and 10% are taking advantage. But you just do your part and let the Lord sort that 10% out.
Yeah.
That's not up to us.
Yeah.
And if you spend all your time worrying about who don't need it, you're missing people that do.
Well, and I've talked to several people who have lost everything, and the ugly things that have been said to them make me cry because
Me too.
I'm like, it's just, and I know, like, I'm thinking of two people specifically that I know without a shadow of a doubt. Talk to them with my own self, you know what I mean? And I know that they're not lying, and people have said mean, nasty things to them, and it's made them not want to ask for more help for the things that they need.
Yeah. It's hard for people to ask for help anyway.
Yeah.
And if they're made to feel bad about it, they won't be back. They literally won't be back. And those are a lot of the people that we just load the stuff up and take it to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've actually, in picking up things to take to the community, I've experienced that myself.
Have you?
People being like,
Yeah.
questioning where it's going. And I do get it to an extent, but if somebody needs it, they need it.
Well, early days, I was down. I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I was down at the Parks and Rec, and that in the early days, that was like our main hub. Everybody was coming in there.
One of the
Everybody
very
from
first
like,
ones that they got up and running.
yeah, because they had power and did they have cell phone service? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think town was
They were one
struggling
of
for
the
a
last
while
ones
to get
with
services.
service.
because I know we didn't have service from like I think we had one little spot like on the creek where we had service, but
Right.
like really not a whole lot of service. But anyways,
We don't have a whole lot of service.
Anyways, yeah,
anytime.
exactly. That's why. Anyway, but we were down there, and so this hub was like basically providing for Hampton, Roan Mountain, Avery County. Like
Butler,
I have no idea how far
Yeah.
it was provided.
Valley
for.
Forge, TLC.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
seen in.
Yeah, and so it was probably like day 4 or 5, and there was a truck that had come through every couple hours, multiple times, and somebody said something nasty about that truck. They're like, I've seen them come through, blah, blah, blah. And I had talked to them, and they were running supplies to Hampton, to
Right.
the entire community of Hampton.
Right. That's a
They
lot of what
only
we were
had-
doing as well.
Yes.
So even though it may look like you were coming through
that's what I
there
was-
over and over,
Yeah.
you had a list of names.
For people that couldn't get out to get the things.
Yes.
So we would run it from there to there, and then ATVs would take it from
On
there
into the
up.
mountains. That's
And-
what we did.
Yeah.
And we were running to Little Milligan.
Okay.
So that was one of the hubs we were taking to Avon Mountain, Hampton. We were everywhere in the beginning.
Yeah. And
I've even had people, a local church, who told me they didn't realize there was still a need in our county.
okay, I want to talk on that a little bit because I've gotten that a lot. And what do you?
And she
what do you
literally
say?
said to me, how do you find these people who need help? And I said, I go where they are and I speak with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're everywhere. They're your neighbors.
Because I do.
If it's easy to sit right in your little corner of the county that didn't get damaged
Yeah.
and not see it. But man, if you ride up the road, you will see things that you can't imagine.
Because I think that that's one of the harder things that I've seen is just that there is a, like, if you haven't been hit, it's really easy for you to pretend like
Yeah.
it's not happening.
Like, oh, I'm so inconvenienced by the bridge.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And it's real hard because it is, that's kind of another hope I have with this channel is that locally we can communicate better.
So, oh my
Because
goodness.
even in like our county, people aren't aware of the needs in our own county.
Yes.
And like we're here, and I can't imagine. Like I was telling you about my sister. My sister is not local, and she's like, I thought it was all taken care of. Like,
Right.
what are you talking about? And I was like, not anywhere close.
Not even
Like,
close.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 years before things are.
Yeah.
It'll
You
be
think?
10 years.
Yeah. I don't know.
In some of these communities, it may be longer. Some
Yeah.
people will never rebuild, and some and when you see it, they can't because not only is their house gone, but their foundation to their house is gone, and the
Yeah.
ground their house stood on, and their yard to the bedrock.
Yeah.
And people have mortgages on that.
Which is wild to me that you.
They're going to have to do something about that.
There
People
has
cannot-
to be something because the fact that people are still having to pay mortgages and car payments.
for things that are literally, they're gone.
I even saw somebody who had gap insurance. I don't understand that. I don't really understand the new car with the gap insurance thing, but I think that there's something for like if your insurance pays out. Do you understand gap
I don't
insurance?
understand.
Anyways, basically, like the insurance paid a certain amount and they still owed a certain amount on their like payment, and there's insurance for that certain amount. Don't get me started on the insurance where there's insurance for everything and you didn't have that insurance anyway. But even that insurance that was supposed to cover the gap, that's what they say, didn't cover it.
Yeah.
And so it's like 10 grand or something
Hardly
that they have on
anybody,
on a car.
everybody's complaining about insurance right now.
which is insane to me that there's insurance companies that can look at this and not do the right thing.
Well, I heard one lady say they wanted to see that the car was totaled, and she's like, I don't even know
I
where
don't know where
it
it's
is.
at. Yeah.
It went down the river. It's in one of those debris piles that are
And then
so
you have to
big.
go
You have to
looking
see it.
for your car. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Already going through that and then having to go look through.
And they don't want you there looking because they're literally still in recovery.
Yeah.
And which is unimaginable to me.
Yeah.
This far into it.
Because what day is it? 86?
86 or 7.
86 or 7, and they're still in recovery mode.
They found 2. They had 2 markings on day 85, actually,
Really?
down in Unaka.
Yeah. Breaks my heart.
Ugh.
But I don't know. And that's the other, I've not seen a whole lot of help for that lately. And I can understand the regular people can't, like, regular volunteers can't really come in and do that kind of work. And that's where we need official help.
But they are. They're the ones.
But that's what I was going to say.
But like, they literally shouldn't be that.
They shouldn't.
Yeah. A lot of us have been doing things that we were not equipped for.
And shouldn't have been doing.
But
without it, we would have.
What would we have done? I don't know what would have happened.
Who knows what would have happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've seen that. I mean, early days, you saw that a lot. I was talking to somebody up Roan Mountain area. There was a landslide, the whole thing. And there's a neighbor of theirs that they'd never talked to a single day. He was a veteran. They'd never talked to, and he cleared their whole road with his equipment. And it's just stories like that of people who have come together that gives me hope, even though it feels really hopeless.
It has been the most heartbreaking and rewarding at the same time thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
But it breaks your heart every day.
Yeah. You
lay down at night and you worry about everybody and what they need and what they don't have and how you're going to find it for them and get it to them. And in the beginning, you couldn't even get it to them.
Yeah.
And if people hadn't started showing up with their side-by-sides and four-wheelers, I mean, I think that's hard for people to wrap their mind around. But there's places here that are so remote that when the road washes out or the bridge washes out, there's no other way.
Yeah. I don't know. It is. It's been hard for me to see it and look at it every single day, and I'm sure for you too, because I know you're more in it even than I am, and seeing and hearing stories every single day is exhausting.
So the first 2 weeks, I cried the whole time.
Yeah.
Cried the whole time.
Yeah.
Serve people food, cry, and give them stuff, and cry. And my son Joey would fuss at me. He'd say, Mama, don't cry. They don't need our tears. But I'd be like, sometimes they do. I just can't. It's hard to see your people hurting like that. Yeah, it's just hard.
Well, and I wish there was just endless resources and endless money that we could just help where we can. And I don't know. I appreciate so much the people outside of our area who have.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what we would have done if they hadn't come through for us.
Mm-hmm. And continue to. I mean, I was at the TLC Center yesterday, and there's a woman from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And still, and I appreciate that big time. People who maybe didn't have an opportunity to come in the early days, you're still welcome. Still very much welcome.
Oh,
in the
yes.
area.
We still need help. This is far from over here.
Yeah. There will be something. There will be something for you to do.
He's staring at us.
Oden already had an interview with the big news people. He's been having a full day. Which is really cool. I'm excited.
Channel 5 this morning.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see that. That's great. Okay. So tomorrow, food drive.
Yep. From what? Start picking up at 11.
11 to 1. Watauga
11 to 1.
Valley, Free Will Baptist Church, near Unaka High School.
Very cool. And that's going to be food.
Family-sized meals.
Okay.
From 4 to 6.
Okay. 4 to 6 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken and ham with all the sides.
Awesome. Perfect. Like Christmas Eve dinner.
Christmas dinner. Yes.
Yep. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're shooting for.
I like that. Okay. And what else do you have to say, Oden? What?
check out my YouTube channel
Right
Oden on
here.
the trail.
Yeah, there's the
Somewhere that
Yeah.
direction.
there's the QR code. There will be something at the end too. Here on YouTube. What about you, Missy? Any final thoughts?
Keep helping.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Hang in there because it's not over.
And who knows when
And if you think it is over, get out right around
Yeah.
because it's not.
you're welcome to come ride around with us.
Yep.
If you do. What about you, Cayden? Anything? Any last minute thoughts?
Subscribe to Oden's YouTube channel.
We love it. Well, thank you
Caden's
guys.
trying to start his own, but he's too much of a baby to go out in the cold.
Oh.
It's called
Okay.
Stoney Creek Fisher, and he hasn't uploaded any videos.
Well,
Thank
subscribe
you.
to his his
Now you
YouTube
have to
channel
do
too.
it.
Now
I
I'm
will do
gonna
it.
put it in the show note things.
There you go.
I will do it.
So you'll start it.
I was actually gonna go post a video after we're done.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
You
perfect.
can't complain. I didn't share no spotlight.
I appreciate you. Oden.
You're welcome.
I will be sure and I will shout you out in my video and I'll post
There
it
you
too.
Perfect. I love it. Love the love. All right. Well, as always, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching, y'all. And reach out if you want to. I got to come up here to stop it. But if you would like to talk on here, this is mostly for like our local community to kind of be more connected and involved. But reach out and thank you for watching.
You didn't even say
And we're out.